So you all may have already seen this die and stamp set. It's called the Barn Door die, and I've had it in my stash for quite some time now, and I've never used it. So I thought I would pull it out because I was thinking about my Country Craft Creations design team project, and I thought this would be something I might be able to incorporate with that project. But for today, we're going to create a little Valentine card, barnyard style. So let's get started. For your cardstock base, the first thing you're going to need is a piece of cardstock that measures 10.5 by 4 1/4. You'll need to score in the center at 5 1/4. Go ahead and fold in half and burnish. So now we have our card base. For the top of the card, I'm using Bo Bunny Head Over Heels collection that I picked up off of Snap Click Supply. This is a digital collection, and this is one of the papers. I love it. And what I've done is cut this down to be 4 by 5. With our first base piece, what we want to do is take the die that has the 2 slots on it and put that onto our paper. Now I'm going to kind of center this on the sides, but bring it down toward the bottom of the cardstock, because we will be adding a strip up here at the top. So make sure you leave room for that. To keep it in place, I'm going to use some of this purple tape. I don't know if you guys have used this. I can't say I'm extremely thrilled with it. Sometimes it tears my paper, and then sometimes it doesn't stay on the paper. So I would be interested to hear what you have to say. I don't even know where. I think I bought that off of Amazon. Okay, so I'm going to take this, run it through my die machine, and I'll be back. Okay, there is our paper with our slots cut out. That's much bigger than I thought it would be. For this next part, I learned it from a YouTuber, and I'll have her link down below. She uses a piece of acetate to be the mechanism that we add to the back of the base here, and that helps the door move along the tracks. So I cut out a piece that is 2 1/4 by 3 5/8. What you just need to make sure, however big your piece is that of these slots that we just cut out. So make sure it covers, you know, the top and the bottom. And then there's plenty of room here in the center, but that it is no larger than the door that we're going to stamp out. So the door itself is about 2 1/4 inch. So I use those measures to cut this piece out. Speaking of the door, let's move on to that. What I did was cut out another piece of the Head Over Heels digital paper. It is this kind. I think it goes this way actually, with the little triangles on it. And I used the stamp. I used archival ink to just stamp that on there. And then it has a die that you can put around it to cut it out. So I already did that to save some time. The next thing we need to do is cut out this like a rail. And so you have the die for that. You'll need to cut out one of the little door handles and 2 of the roller hinges. Now, one of the best ways to do that, because these are so tiny, is to add adhesive to the back of your cardstock. I'm using black cardstock, and I've already added my adhesive, and I actually have already cut them out to save a little time. I use the adhesive part on the handle and the rail. I did not use the adhesive part on the roller hinge because it will be hanging out over the top of the door. And if you did, this piece would just be adhesive and wet. And if the card gets smushed, it might get attached to the upper part of the card. So I didn't want to do that. You'll see more when we put this together. So now we have all of our pieces parts. So let's get started on putting it together. So the first thing we're going to do is put our adhesive behind our base cardstock here. So again, I'm making sure that it lines up to where it doesn't go over the edge, but it goes enough past the slot that's there. So you can see. I'm going to take some foam adhesive. This is what I've got at the Dollar Tree. I just cut it in half because it's kind of thick. It's actually this width, but I want it to be able to roll easy, so I cut it in half. And I'm going to add that to our adhesive. And I'm adding it fairly close to the bottom of this slot. And then I'll do the same down here. So as you can see, it would run across the slots like that. And then here's what it looks on the back side. So now that we have that done, we're going to take off the adhesive back and add the door. Now I looked up the proper way to adhere this door, and when you have these 3 points here and it goes to one center point, that's where your door handle should be. So I just wanted to let you know that. And then we will put this onto the foam and kind of center it. So we got that door on, and now let's check it out. Yeah, it runs pretty good. Awesome. Okay, so we're just going to add our handle on the door. There we go. I kind of just centered it between this angle here and that one. And then we're going to add the rail piece to the top. Okay, so the rail piece, this is longer than the slots, so you have to center it, keeping that in mind. Yeah, I think that works. And now we'll add the little hinges, the rolling hinges. I'm just going to add some glue here to the bottom. If you would have run this through with the adhesive on the back, this part up here would be open adhesive. If it gets smushed in the mail like that, your door won't move. So that's why I'm just going to go ahead and use the wet glue to adhere that. And then I added that so the little holes would be right where the bar is. So the bar, or this rail, is going right across where those open holes are. Hope you can see that. And then it moves like that. Super cute. Now that we have the door and the front panel all together, another piece that you could add is an item that has sentiments on it. And a good way to do it is to add one sentiment on each side of this, because when you have the doors in one direction, you can see one side, and then when you slide it over, you'll see the other side. So what I've done here is, again, use the Head Over Heels collection. This back part was a journaling card. I added these words from the elements, the heart, and then this like little stamp. This measures 4 by 2 5/8, but you could really just make it whatever size that you like that to be back there. So I'm going to go ahead and add our glitter glue. Probably better to use wet adhesive when adhering this, because we're going to need time to get it in place. I don't mind if some of this shows, it's okay. Yeah, I think that will work. Now you can add this piece before you add the door. I just wasn't sure if I was going to put anything there. Okay, so there you have that. When you slide this, head over heels for you. slide it back. Two people plus together forever. All right, I also cut out a little corrugated red glitter heart, and then I added a arrow here that I got from the Kissing Booth collection by Simple Stories. I don't know how old this is, but 2018. So I'm just going to add this just as a little bit of decoration to the door. And then the last thing we want to do here is add this card piece to our card base. Now, I think you could probably do it flat, but everybody I see that has made this card usually elevates it up on foam dots or foam adhesive. So I'll probably do the same, even though I think it works perfectly fine if you just glued it on there, as long as you glued around the outer edge and nothing in between, so that your mechanism can still slide. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put the adhesive on here. Now, when you do that, you need to make sure that it doesn't get in the way of your slider part. I wish I had thinner. Let me go see if I have thinner. Okay, I have the foam adhesive on the back. I'm gonna just flatten this out, I think. Go ahead and add this. Just try to center it onto your cardstock base. And there we have it, our little barn door slider. It's so cute. So then we open the card and we open it to the left side. And I did that since the door is kind of going in this direction initially. And then when you open it up, I added a couple glitter heart stickers. I got these from Hobby Lobby. They're the Valentine kind. I think I got those last year. And then what I used down here was when we created this piece with the slider holes, using that die, I used one of the extra pieces here and just glued it on there to give just a little bit of something inside the card. So that's it, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this. See you next time.